Hello, audience. You have found a secret path to Joel Adventures, where I, the Joel, lead you on perilous journeys through adventure and role-playing games. And it has been a while, but we are resuming Final Fantasy for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We had to spend quite a while just leveling up our group in an alternate series known as Joel Grinds before we could get this far. And we did. We leveled up all the way to level 7. And we've acquired 4,500-ish gold. And we're going to use it well. Let's see here. How many potions do we have? We have 14 potions. We're any more than that. More antidotes. Let's see how our defense items look. This would be a good time to talk about a bug for the black belt. You see, the black belt here, unless you look at his equipment when he levels up, his armor gets stuck at whatever his level is in terms of his absorption, whenever he's not wearing a weapon. Currently he's not wearing a weapon, so we have to keep track of that. So when he gets to level 8, if I don't go and look at his armor and see that it's there, just kind of go and examine it like that, then his armor absorption rate, no matter what it says on there, will be set to whatever his level is. Right now his absorb is 6, which means if I level up and don't look at his armor, his protection will actually be better than his current armor provides. This particular glitch or bug or whatever can be used to your advantage. You can actually go in and not look at your armor on purpose because your level is higher than your current absorb rate. We're not here to exploit things today, though. That's not our goal. Our goal is actually to play the game legitimately. So we're going to get us some more healing items. You gotta have a lot of healing items. Now we're going to go see what the White Warriors need to do here in Elf Town. I'm sure there's some sort of monumental task that is set before them. Go. So we acquired all this money over a long period of time. I think about 45 minutes or so. I think it was an hour. I don't know, we did a lot of Joel Grinds to get this far. And we're putting a lot of it into healing potions, because you can only boost your defense so far. Now what we could do is we could get 2 iron armors for our fighters, because I believe that's the only defensive items we could get. We could get the copper thingies, but those are expensive for the other guys. Or we could get better weapons. We could go over here and get a couple of sabers. But there's some really good weapons that are coming along pretty soon for the fighters, and the one for the thief doesn't really help him out very much. It's a very small improvement. So I think we're going to go ahead and get 1 iron armor for now, because there'll be at least 1 in the dungeon we're going to. We'll put that on our front row guy. He can't carry anymore. Okay, we're going to give it to the black belt then. Get out of here. Let's take a look at our inventory. So one of the downsides to having characters who wear a lot of equipment is you end up with really full inventories. But I think that neither of these guys ever get shields, so we'll always have a few open slots. So we'll replace Joel's chain armor with iron armor. And then we can sell that chain armor. There's a little bit more gold. Chain armor. Yes. Alright. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We've got 26 heals and 8 pures. We need more pures. There are so many things that are going to poison us. Our main goal while exploring will be to just run away from anything that can poison us, because it is so dangerous getting poisoned. We're only going to have so many pures to work with. So we got 10. We're probably going to need to get 10 more. And that might be just enough to get us through there. So let's get some more pures. This is the really exciting part of the episode. Oh man, you remember Joel Adventures number 2 when he just bought frickin' pures for like 5 minutes straight? Oh, it was the best part of the episode, I know. Yeah, not really. It's one of the downsides to this really early game, is that you had to buy every single item one at a time. That's one of the things they fixed in the later versions. Okay, let's get 1 more pure and then just dump the rest of our money into heals. And I think that'll put us in about the best position we can be in, because we want those really fancy swords if we're going to buy upgrades for our weapons. And I think our current offensive output's pretty good even without those new weapons. So we really want to just have the heals so that we can recover between fights. I think 20 pures should do the trick. At least we're on a whole lot of healing potions because we have no other method of recovering between battles. Maybe we'll get 5 more pures. Let's see how things are looking. Oh yes. Oh yes, that is a lot. Okay, let's get 3 more heals and 5 more pures just to have nice even numbers. Because that's what's really important, having even numbers of your items. And 1 more. Yes. And let's get some pures. And some more. I think we're tough enough that we'll be able to survive the fights. The trick is to have enough stuff to get back to our health where it needs to be after those fights. We have 25 pures, 40 heals. Let's see how many more heals we get. Let's just max out on heals. Because you gotta have heals. I don't really use tents or cabins or houses. I think they're just, I don't know, they just don't seem all that necessary to me. If you have a lot of healing items, you're good to go. If you have mages, it might be more useful because houses can recover some of your spell slots, so you have more spells to cast. If you don't want to go all the way back to an inn or something. But you have to be out on the world map anyway, so I don't know. It doesn't seem all that necessary to me. But I tell you, in this one, reserving your spells can be such a pain because you have to make sure to be very careful with the limited amount of slots you have. Okay, let's just keep going until we're out of money. We'll have a whole bunch of heals. A whole bunch of heals. We want as many as we can get, because this is going to be a slog. Okay, so we talked to some of these elf guys in Elf Town. They seemed very concerned about a guy named Astos, who's causing a lot of trouble around here. But we have not actually visited that big castle right there. Let's go see what they have to say. This is Elf Castle, or something along those lines. Got some pillars and some walls. There's an elf hanging out there in the grass. Seems to be having a nice time. Oh, this guy seems to be taking a nap. For 5 years, the princess slept under Astos' spell. Only Herb can wake him. Well, where is he? Let's go find Herb. I think they're talking about a quest item. That is what we must find. The magical herb. It is said that there is a witch who has herbs. I believe that her name is Matoya. We skipped going to visit Matoya in the first episode because there's nothing really there but a potion at this point in the game and brooms that tell you how to look at the map. Let's see. The Cave of Dwarf is at the west end of the Aldi Sea. That's nice. Cave of the Dwarf. I guess there's just one dwarf there? No, there's actually a lot of dwarfs there. Let's see what this guy has to say. Hi, guy. Without warning, Astos took our castle. Our prince was laid under a curse, and our treasury ransacked. Oh, that's not nice. Sounds very not nice at all. Let's see what these guys have to say. Astos put the prince to sleep. Please save him. Oh, okay. And you say what he says. Ah, that's great. Let's see what these guys over in the grass have to say for themselves. Hello. It is said there is a witch who has herbs. I believe that her name is Matoya. Didn't we? The other guy said that. Man, if you say that too, I'm very upset. But I'm gonna still save your prince guy. But I'm gonna be upset though. This is a very long walk to come talk to you. No, not. There we are. This treasure room is locked with the mystical key. Yeah, the mystical key. The mystical key is an interesting thing. It's a quest item you get for getting through this first bunch of quests. But most of the things that are locked in chambers that are sealed by the mystic key are not really worth the effort of going back to get them. They're usually items that you can just buy at that point in the game, or a little bit of extra money that you could get by just doing some fighting. And all the backtracking necessary to look them all up is just not really worth all the effort. As far as treasures that you're not allowed to get early on that you get to go back and get later, they're kind of underwhelming. These are some poison snake things that we probably should have ran away from. We are smart. We were supposed to run away from these guys. Well, there's only 2 of them. I already managed to poison one of my guys. Whenever anyone in your group gets poisoned that's not the guy in the back, it just messes up your group order all over. Everything gets all mixed up. nobody's beat up enough to heal, so we'll move on. So to get to the Marsh Cave, you kind of go up and to the left. You follow around below Elf Town. You go up and to the left, take the second opening, this being it. And the snake poisons the guy in the front. Look here, Snake. I've only got so many antidotes or cures, and I've got a long way to go, so you need to quit it. Alright, now see, our group order's all mixed up. I don't know, why'd they put my black belt in the front? Alright, whatever. Now we gotta cure our guy, and we gotta put everybody back where they belong. There we go. I understand there's a bug with how the group members are positioned when somebody has a status ailment. And about half the time you end up in the wrong position from where you're supposed to end up, because you're supposed to be farther in the back the worse your status ailment is. One thing we should discuss is targeting. In Final Fantasy 1, and also 2, your characters each round will only aim at the monster they're told to attack. If that monster dies before the character gets to go, if someone else kills that monster, they don't move on to some other monster. You get this message, ineffective. Basically, they attack it at thin air because the monster's already dead. These guys, Geists, they paralyze your group, which is really annoying. But it's a temporary status ailment. It wears off after the fight's over. So you see, the guy is he's not afflicted by some permanent status ailment. But it's really annoying because it only works for so long. If you get everyone paralyzed, it can be really dangerous. Alright, so this is the Marsh Cave. There's a treasure that's above, but it's not a very good one. I'm going to skip it. If you want to know what it is, you can look it up. There's a lot of good maps out there on the internet, lots of good guides. And I'm just kind of going based on memory here. And lots of experience. Okay. Some of these guys are really hard to kill. I think one of those slime guys, I don't remember which one, they take like 1 point of damage every time you punch them, so we're just going to run away. Wait, no. We're going to have the thief run away, and we're going to fight with everybody else, just in case. But our thief should do the trick of getting us to run away. Let's see if we kill the spider. Or not. Oh, stop hitting me. Alright, there we go, see? Yeah, that's what our thief is good for. We get away from the fights that we don't want to fight. So we're going to head down here. And there's some treasure chests in this room as well that we're going to skip. A bunch of items I'm not very interested in. These guys are paralyzers. We'll go ahead and try to fight them. We'll see how we do. This might not work out so good. Yeah, see, we already got one guy paralyzed. It's so annoying. But at least we can kill those blue guys in like one hit, though, so that's not so bad. Now I just have to deal with the pink and gray ones. But we got 2 paralyzed guys, which means only the back 2 guys can go now. That's not good. But hopefully it won't last too long. But if they hit my other guys, they might get paralyzed as well. So hopefully things go pretty well. Oh, there we go. We got one of them. Oh, the black belt's starting to do some better damage now. He's up in a slightly higher level. Yeah, there we go. Ah, not bad. We survived! We made it. Let's see about doing a little bit of healing. No, everybody's in pretty good shape. Let's keep going. So we head kind of down in this room, past this little zigzaggy pattern of pillars around to the right. And then we head in here, to this empty room, down these stairs. This is the last room of the Marsh Cave. And we're going to want to go into a few of these rooms to get items. Let's see if these are the guys that only take 1 damage per hit. If so, we'll probably just ditch them. No, they're taking a little bit of damage. It must be the green ones that you can't hurt. I mean, you can hurt them, but it takes forever. Oh, these guys hit hard. I'm glad I spent that time leveling up to get extra hit points. I kind of did an alternate series for when the group needs to level up, so that it won't be boring, because leveling up is pretty boring, and this game's already really repetitive. And I called it Joel Grinds. And basically the idea is that my characters are grinding for levels. They're leveling up, and they're trying to get money, too, for new items. But it also has kind of a double meaning, because the characters are also... Oh, not the characters. I am also talking about, whatever comes to mind. It's like an opinion show. And so I'm kind of grinding at the topic and trying to improve the topic, trying to come up with ideas about it. Ah, iron armor. And that is why we didn't buy another iron armor while we were there. Because I knew we were going to come across one. So what we want to do is trade this to Twin so he can equip it. And we'll just leave that chain sitting there because nobody can make use of it, I don't think. And just for completeness' sake, we'll give it to Zen real quick and try to give it to him. Okay. So there we go. We got better armor on both our fighters now. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to go into this. Look, monsters, you're messing things up. Oh, wait. That guy there, Crawl, he is a stronger version of Creep that I believe can poison or do something really annoying. So we are going to eliminate him as quickly as possible. Because I think all the skeleton guys can do is attack. Oh yeah, he paralyzes. But what's nice about this group is he's the only one in the group that can paralyze you. So as long as we focus on him, everything should be fine. Because we'll be able to focus on the skeleton guys who just deal regular damage, which isn't nearly as much of a problem. Nearly. Okay, we got a few wasted hits here, but we got rid of the paralyzer. Now, if I remember correctly, the red one is the strong one, and the white and purple ones are the weak ones. So I'm going to put 2 guys on the red one and 1 guy's on the white ones. Whatever. They had a lot of different colors. Okay, yeah, the white ones are falling 1 hit apiece. Red one, not so much. Looks like I chose correctly. Yeah, usually when there's a stronger version, you just get 1 of them, and then you get a large batch of his friends. They're not so strong. Yeah, Arbone. Arbone is kind of a tough cookie. Deals a bit more damage, takes a bit more. Yeah, he's a pretty tough guy. Look at that. He dealt him a pretty good walloping of hit point damage there. There we go. We got him. Yeah, we're getting some good money here. That's nice. Let's see how our health is. Everybody's doing pretty good. We'll get him up into a slightly healthier 29, 39, 40. No. I want to be down at least enough that the potion will do something. And they do about 30. We'll get this one. Copper bracelet. Now, we're completely full when it comes to armor now, which is not good, because if we find any more armor, we won't have any room for it. It's kind of annoying. But this unequips our wooden armor, so we can sell that when we get back to town, and then we'll have a slot again, and we'll sell this, and we'll replace his wooden armor with a copper thingy, and then we'll have some room. Okay, let's get over here. I think ribbons take the place of helmets, so we'll always have those 2 shield slots. No, this is where we want to be. Down here, I think in this room, is the actual place where we need to go. Here we are. Now, this is the introduction of an interesting feature in the Final Fantasy series, which I know for sure was in 1 and 2, and I think somewhat in 3. Basically, the square that's directly above my characters is always going to trigger a fight. You can step on it and get the treasure and walk away and step on it again, and you'll get in the fight again. You leave, step on it again, you get in the fight again. As many times as you want. It's repeatable. And there's a lot of squares like that in this game. This is the first one that you're going to come across playing the game normally. So we got these wizards. We got 3 of them. That's not too bad. 2 is preferable. You don't always fight the same amount. And they look like a monster from Dungeons & Dragons, which some of you might be familiar with. They're known in some circles as illithids or brain eaters or something like that. Anyways, yeah, they lifted a lot from Dungeons & Dragons for this game. And that's kind of how things go. But, you know, they didn't call them that at least. You know, they gave them their own name. And I think we're going to switch our thief over into potion mode to try to keep our hit points from getting too scrambled here. And you know what? We're doing so... They hit my monks so hard, I'm going to go for 2 potions. There we go. We're still dealing some damage, but we're also not letting them get ahead of us on hit points, which is important. Now, see, he only did 17 to my fighter. He did a whole bunch to my monk. Fortunately, my monk's in the back, so... Ow! Oh, if they hit him again, he's going to die. Okay, let's heal up our... oops, no. Let's heal up our thief with 3 guys to try and make up for that. That is a ridiculous amount of damage. And we're going to end up using a lot of potions in this fight. No! Oh, jeez. Why we're using so many potions? Wow. Really killed him. At least we're still dealing a little bit of damage here. And my fighters are able to soak up a lot of hits, so that's good. Okay, everybody's doing pretty good. I think we're going to focus a bit more on offense this round. We are going to keep drinking some potions. because we have got to keep up with the damage they're putting out here. Okay, we got one of them. Thank goodness, that's a lot better. Throw down some potions, get everybody in better shape. There we go, that's better. Yeah, over 100, that's what I want to see. Now, our thief, I think at this point, is our least damage-dealing guy, so he's going to play Potion Man a lot. I think that kind of fits with my idea of a thief, you know? He's kind of running around the fight, helping out as best he can, not always fighting. Sometimes running away, sometimes... man. Blasting us hit points here. Okay, let's do 2 guys, and these guys are going to double up on potions for themselves. The fighters are fine. They're super fine. They're not even dealing more than 20 damage per hit on them. One of them got hit for 90 earlier. I think the thief did, so we want to make sure he's got his hit points up as best as possible. They only had 2 hits, 22 damage, whatever. Okay, let's do another potion for the monk, but he's healed enough. He can fight this round. 1 point of damage. Awesome. Yeah, fighters rock. The first time I ever beat this game, and the only time I ever beat the NES version, was with a group of 3 fighters and a red mage, because fighters are awesome. Monsters perished. XP up. And some gold. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if I stupidly walked off this square, I would not get the treasure and I'd have to fight them again to get it. So we get the treasure, the crown, which I thought we were supposed to get an herb to save the prince guy. What's up with this crown? That doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like a cycle of items that you have to deal with to get the prince healed. You can't just do one thing to get him fixed. This is kind of your typical, you know, take this one thing to one person, take this thing to another person kind of deal. And that looks pretty good. Okay, everybody's pretty healed up. Nobody has a status ailment. Now we just got to get out of here with our lives. Gargoyles. Not like the ones from the cartoon show. I don't think they turn to stone at night. They're just annoying. The nice thing about these guys, though, is they don't do anything. They hit like 3 or 4 times. Pretty good damage against lower armor guys, but they don't have like a status ailment that they provide or anything. So these guys are not such a big deal compared to some of the other bad guys that we've been fighting in here. Paralyzers and poisoners. 33 damage. That was pretty rough. Yeah, see, my heavily armored guys are fine, but my less tough guys might take some heavy damage from these guys, but nothing too extreme, considering that we leveled up a little bit. If we just tried to run in here right off, this group might have wiped us out. I kept trying to do an episode just as is at the point I was at. It just wasn't working. I kept getting killed, and that's why we did Joel Grinds, to make it so we could actually survive this. Because some groups in Final Fantasy just are not prepared to just run through the game. It's not like the more recent games where you can just sit back and go, I'm just going to go through this whole game without stopping once to level up. We're just gonna do it. I would say all of them from 5 on, you could pretty much do that. 4 was the last one that was ridiculously hard. I could probably just do all the other ones in a solid run without having to stop at pretty much any point. Maybe, well, 10 I had to level up a little bit right at the end just to make myself strong enough to kill the final boss. Or not even the final boss, right before the final boss, you have to fight the Mouth of Sin, and that one is really tough, and you're on a timer. That's why I couldn't beat it, because I'm like, oh, werewolves? Crap, these guys poison. We're going to try to run away from these guys. I think they poison. We're going to run with our thief. Try to kill a few of these guys along the way, maybe reduce our odds of getting poisoned. Oh, darn it. Darn you, status ailments! Alright, come on. There we go. Yeah, that's what I like to see. And now our group's all mixed up again. That's okay. That's okay. We will straighten it up. So this is the first lengthy dungeon of the game, and it's not very complicated. Like, there's a couple of alternate paths, and if you're a low-level group that's not prepared properly, this can be really rough, because you have to find your way, and it's a pretty big dungeon if you don't know where to go. But if you're an experienced player, this dungeon does not present too much of a challenge. I always do that. Okay, here we go. Muckety muck muck. We will destroy us amok, and continue about our way as if nothing had happened. Now, I believe that Final Fantasy 1, this one, Final Fantasy, is kind of unique in the series, because you pick your class right at the beginning of the game, and you're stuck with it for the whole game. There are other games where you pick your classes as you go along, and you can change them as you go. Final Fantasy 3 is like that, and Final Fantasy 5. But in this one, once you pick your class at the beginning, that's the only time you ever get to pick, and you're stuck with your choice. And this one is not as story-driven as some of the other ones where you're stuck with a class choice. But usually in those ones, they give you a class. Final Fantasy 4, the main character is a shadow warrior, and his friend is a dragoon, and they're always going to be that way no matter what, because that's those characters. Part of the character is the class. In this one, you kind of make your own characters. And you don't really see that in other Final Fantasy games. You get to name a pre-designed character in most of the other ones. Final Fantasy 3 is probably the only exception to that. At least the original version, which never came to America. In the original version of Final Fantasy 3, you started out with 4 onion kids who pretty much looked identical and named them whatever you wanted. And then you could change their classes as you went. Kind of like Final Fantasy 1 on drugs, just like on steroids. Instead of getting to pick your classes once, you could pick them over and over and over again. But otherwise, it was very similar to Final Fantasy 1. I would say it was pretty much like the revised version of Final Fantasy 1, because it took a lot of the stuff that was wrong with this game and improved it. Like, there's classes that actually do a lot of different things. And I think the classes in this one are somewhat limited compared to 3. Unfortunately, the original version of 3 never came to America, back for the original NES era, and they've never been able to properly port it. The original version, at least. There is a version that came out for the DS, the Nintendo DS, in recent years, and that version also was put out on the iOS format for the iPhone, more recent iPad Touches, and the iPad. And that version is a really good version of the game, but it's not the original game. They made so many changes to it that it's really kind of its own game by the time you get it. And we made it out of the Marsh Cave safely. Here we go. We're going to fight our way back to town, and we're doing pretty good, actually. We didn't go through nearly as many healing items as I thought we might have, but we had them, and that's the important thing. It's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. The DS version of Final Fantasy 3, all the characters have lines, and they give them, and they interact with each other, and each of the characters in the group actually is a particular character who's involved in the town, and there's a lot more going on in the story. In the original game, you were just 4 generic characters who lived in this town, and there wasn't really a lot of interaction between you and the townspeople because it was a pretty simple game. Geist. Yeah, paralyze one of my guys, see if I care. Wahaha, we are mighty. Okay, we are doing pretty good here. Yeah, we're just chugging along. We thwarted us a marsh cave. We kicked a lot of butt. We're doing pretty well. Oh, this is a bit of a tough group here, because creeps are pretty hard hitters, and ogres are too. And ogres have like a frickin' 100 hit points. I mean, these guys are tough. Especially when you first start fighting them over in Provoca. That could be a really harsh battle over at that point, trying to get 100 points together. If you're in a group with a mage that can do like a black mage attack, it's not so bad, because you're getting about 30-40 points of damage out of each hit from that, even at level 1. But if you're a low-level melee group like mine, it can sometimes be a bit rough. At this point, though, they're not nearly as difficult. You know, one round of hits from everyone, maybe 2 rounds, and they'll be down. And here we go. Everyone is getting fortified with essential vitamins of killing that guy. There we go. Very well, very well. Good job, groupity. We're doing fine. So we just kind of do the opposite of what we did getting over there. Head down and to the right. Get through this little narrow pass here. Oh, 3 creeps. That's like they're challenging me. Challenge accepted. There we go. I like that on the very top of the battlefield there's a little area showing where you're fighting. See those trees? That's where we're fighting. We're fighting in the trees. We're in a forest. In later games, that gets a lot more integrated. And you notice how everything's wrapped in boxes? They start cutting back on the boxes a little bit in the later ones. Like, there's no reason why our group and the bad guy group should be each in our own box. It's kind of silly, but, you know, it's like, this was the first game of its type. And, you know, before this, there was no JRPG with the heroes on the right and the bad guys on the left. This is the one that kind of established the format. I mean, Dragon Warrior did come along before this, but in Dragon Warrior, you never saw your character when he was fighting. You just saw the monster, and you only ever fought one monster at a time, and you're a one-member party. This is really the one that kind of set things up. I wonder if Dragon Warrior 2 came out before this one. Not sure. You know, they used to release Dragon Warrior on the weekdays in Japan, but it was so popular that it just didn't really work out. So we got the crown. We're back to town. I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. Well, we got a pretty good amount of money. How much are those fancy swords? Hey, fancy swords. Are they 1,000 apiece or like several 4,000? Okay. We're probably going to have to wait on those. Yeah. Okay. But we do have some stuff to sell. Let's sell our stuff, and then we're going to have to figure out next time what to do with this crown that we found in order to get an herb. I mean, how do we get an herb with a crown? How does that work? Okay, no, we're not buying, we're selling. I think Zen has this chain armor. Yes. And also, Hood now has this, so we can sell this wooden armor. And I think what we're going to also do is we're also going to sell Zen's wooden armor, because we're going to buy him a copper bracelet thing as well. There we go. And that'll actually optimize everybody's defense for this part in the game. There's not anything we could buy in any store or find in any dungeon that we've been to that could actually make our defenses any better than they currently are. So that's pretty good, right? Yeah. We could do more offensively, but those weapons are expensive. We might want to go for the next notch up for next time. I'm not certain. We'll have to see. But for now, we've got some pretty good stuff going. We completed our goal of getting the crown, which should be over in item. There it is, crown. The stolen crown. We got our loot. Beautiful music fills the air. So, I think that's about all we have time for here. But we've done pretty well. We made it through the dungeon. We're going to head out over here to the inn and heal up. There we go. Don't forget, if you leave your game, hold reset while you turn power off. Oh, fourth wall breaking in, keeper. Okay. So, with that done, I would like to tell you, this leg of our adventure is drawn to a close. Rest well, fair audience, for we will need all our hit points for the next exciting episode of Joel Adventures.